weekend. There's a lot of things going on in sports this weekend. Where do I start from? Story. You see, I like gossip.
Story.
You see that? Remember that time Mancini resigned and he was like, "Oh, what are people talking about Saudi Arabia? He's not. He's not going to Saudi Arabia. He resigned because he wanted to resign."
Mm.
Guess who is now the coach of the national team in Saudi Arabia?
Mancini's brother-in-law.
Mancini's spirit. I don't know why they deny these things. It will come out. So, in fact, if you don't want to, because you don't want to spoil it or you don't want to make it, just no comments. It's simple. I did not resign because of Saudi Arabia. Now you're national coach. Mancini. Okay. That was one of the things that happened over the weekend. The World Athletics Championships ended yesterday. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Crazy things happened at the World Athletics Championship. I don't even want to talk about Duplantis with the pole vault. Please, I'm tired of that boy and his pole vault. It's like when he was born, they gave him trampoline to be jumping. Because I don't understand how many centers he's going to jump over 6 meters. But another gold medal for him. He was not trying to set the world record at the championships. Unfortunately, he didn't. And I was happy.
So I'm just saying, in this climb, if a baby is born, I don't want to say it doesn't become a gender thing. They say a bouncing baby. So probably in his case, when he was born, the news was delivered this way that a jumping baby has been born.
No, this one was not a jumping; it's a flying baby. It's but on that note, fantastic one for him. So when I say he didn't break the world record that is current is set by him. And before the one that was before this one was set by him too. The one that was before that one was set by him. He's one that I think he set the last 6 world records, so let's not even. But he was trying to break this one again, and I was just like, dude. But a lot happened at the World Athletics Championships. We'll talk about all of that. We'll talk about Atsenuwa. We'll talk about them. Right. And then we'll talk about some heroics that happened in Liverpool. All of you that predicted wickedness for Liverpool,
come out.
Your time has come. So we'll be talking about all those in the locker room. But before we do that, tell us how can we be part of the locker room?
Straight away, they can be part of the show this morning by sending a message on the WhatsApp platform 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. Be sure to catch us on YouTube also / Smooth 981 FM Lagos on YouTube. Yes, you can see all of the mic scenes Tega would pull if you're on YouTube, and then that's it.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, US Open starts today.
I am looking forward to that one.
I know I have a poor sleeping schedule.
So your sleep routine is going to suffer for it this time.
I'm awake at night, I'm asleep in the morning, and so I'll be awake watching tennis.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, so let's start from the very first story.
For the lineup, Moral dances away to another Kenyan gold on final night in Budapest as Verstappen beats the rain for record-equaling 9th win in a row as Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2, agent of chaos, Darwin Nunez turns Liverpool Saviour. And Teen Yamal shines as Barca edge 7-goal trailer at Villarreal, and Arteta tells Arsenal to be more ruthless after Fulham flop. Then a perfect Napoli see off Sassuolo as Juve survive penalty controversy, as Kane scores twice on league home debut as Bayern beats Augsburg, and Spain's Football Federation to hold urgent meeting over Rubiales case scandal that won't just go away.
That is keep twisting and turning. So on Saturday morning we heard that the Spanish Federation on their own, they were now going to sue Jenny Hermoso that she lied that about the consent for the case, because according to Rubiales, there was a conversation before this hug and kiss, all these things happened, and she gave him consent. So even if he apologizes, but she gave him consent. She now said she didn't give him consent. Anyway, Spanish FA backed their man and said they were going to sue her for telling those lies, because she had also said that she didn't remember carrying her coach, but she did carry the goal. Sorry, Rubiales, but she did carry him up when they hugged.
The video is out there.
Yeah,
The
so when they
video is
hugged,
out
she
there.
so bottom line, they were like, if she could lie about that, she must have lied about the content. So they were going to sue her, only for FIFA to come and suspend him. And so FIFA suspended him and said nobody should talk to Jenny Hermoso. Nobody from the Spanish FA, nobody's father, nobody's friend, nobody's brother or sister. Now the Spanish FA wants to sit down and have a meeting. This thing, they should have just handled it simply. Rubiales, go and sit down for 2 months.
Yeah.
Because even if you were dating the girl in the back, this was a public inappropriate behavior. Just step aside. But now they won World Cup, and instead of them to be celebrating World Cup, we are celebrating drama.
We're not even talking of the World
Even Ohevu that I was telling women to leave their hotel room door open so that he can walk in anytime.
Yeah.
He's now resigning for inappropriate behavior. I was like, it's really who
he's become a saint now.
Like, yes, now it's better than catch that is Oleo.
Yes.
All right, so let's start from the very first story.
Morale dances away to another Kenyan goal on final day in Budapest. Mary Morale added one final goal to Kenya's medal tally on the final night of action at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest on Sunday night to make sure a team finished as the best of the African teams in the fifth place overall on the medal table.
Yeah, so huge one for Kenya. They finished with 10 medals in total, which is about the same number of medals that Great Britain and North Ireland finished with. Great Britain and North Ireland, not England. Great Britain, all of them together.
See, this concept of this great, and they at one time it
all of them together and North Ireland, they finished with 10 medals, the same as small Kenya. But yeah, that 800 meters always was going to come down to two people. Mary Mora, because of her exploits in the qualifiers, to and Atsenuwa, who at 19 had won everything, won world championships, won Olympic medals. First, so there's a hunger. In fact, I heard that this year she's only won 800 meters at the competition once. So she didn't have enough to build up. In fact, the team wanted to drop her and they're like, she's not. But she said she wanted to compete. She ended up leading that race. And then she was overtaken maybe 20 meters to the end of the race by Mary Mora. No, 10 meters to the end by Mary Mora. And then she left her back door open. So Hodgkinson now passed through and got silver. So she finished with the bronze. And that's her finishing with the bronze for a contingent that they were going to drop her and she was not prepared for. So you can imagine if she's prepared. But think about it, 19, you've won everything. Where do you get the hunger? You know, if you're already an adult, you already have ideas of what you want to do, you have focus. She's 19. That's not what I was doing at 19. I wasn't thinking world championships at 19. So sometimes you forgive these teenagers when the focus wanes a little. But yeah, Memorial wins one for Kenya. But the person that stole the show, hey, you know why they say it's not how you start? I'm going to preach today because yesterday was Sunday. You know how they say it's not how you start, but how you finish. So remember Femke Ball?
Yes,
the woman that fell, the Dutch lady that fell.
Hassan, then she also had that
first her Femke Ball fell when they did the 400 meters mixed relay, because I have to separate it, mixed relay. So they look like they're winning. In fact, they were winning. Then she falls, and they don't get any medal. Anyway, some people said she redeemed herself when she won her own 400 meters. No, that one was for you. And maybe the Netherlands. Yesterday, come and see the things that this girl did. Even me, I was screaming my house. And people were like, but match don't finish now. I was screaming. So yesterday was 4x400 women, and that was what wrapped up the entire championships. And the Dutch team, they started well, then they dropped to third when the third person took over. And I would say I'll come back to this when I'm talking about the Jamaicans and the Americans. They dropped to third because the third person was their slowest person. And it was not just third, it was third with this gap in between second and third. Femke Ball collected that baton. Femke Ball ran. It was the way, it's because the commentator was like, I was telling my nephews that were with me, I said, she's going to win. He said, Tega, but she's coming third. I said, no, she's going to win this race. Just keep watching. And the commentator says, "Oh, she's going to pass. She's going to try, and she's going to come in for silver." I said, "Silver is not this girl's ambition. She's going to get that goal because Jamaica looked like they'd already won it." Femke Bol chased that girl down like a village spirit and stole it literally on the line. That was the redemption because remember, she fell at a team sport. So she had to redeem herself at a team sport. It was one of the most amazing things I saw. True. And it brings me back to talking about this relay, what people do, how people arrange their relay. You see, the Americans arrange their relay in the way that the slowest is at the beginning. So that if there's any catching up to do, they'd have enough people to catch up. Jamaica made the mistake in the 4x100 meters. They started with their two fastest people. They started with Elaine Thompson and then Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. So if you watch Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she had actually built a gap, and then she pulled a muscle. She actually tore a muscle. She'd actually built a gap before she handed over. In fact, she handed over and Jamaica was still ahead. But America did slow, then fast, because Gabby Thomas was fast. Gabby Thomas was the one that now really closed the gap with the third person that was running for Jamaica and then handed over to Shaka Richardson. So again, this thing is, the thing about relay is not just speed, it's strategy. It's technicality when it comes to baton exchange. So there's a lot of things put together. So I was really disappointed with Jamaica because I thought they had the lineup, to defeat America. But the way they set their lineup up, you build speed, then you give it. A lot of people like to put the slowest person in the third place. If they catch up with that person, it's finished. And it's 100 meters. By 400 meters, you can risk that. But with 100 meters, it's a sprint. Don't do it. But yeah, all in all, America still, of course.
They topped the medals too. I think Canada was somewhere around the way there.
Yeah, Canada was second. But I mean, they arranged the teams according to gold medals. So Canada was second. But America topped by 29 or so medals. The closest person had 12. All right, so let's go to the next story.
Okay, looks like a fine place to get onto the tracks this morning. Verstappen beats the rain for record equaling ninth win in a row. Formula One.
All right, so like I said, this was always going to happen. The question was what margin was Verstappen going to win? Red Bull is clearly ahead of everybody. Sorry, let me correct that. Red Bull with Max Verstappen, because the car was built for him, is clearly ahead of everybody else. And then to show you how much the favoritism was. So during the race, the rain scattered this race. The rain turned this race on its head. Now, some people qualified and they were in the front row. Then the rain started falling. So it was now a question of who could quickly get back into the pit lane, change their tires and come out. So people got in late. Sergio Perez got in early. Before we knew it, he came from the back. He was leading the race. And then other people joined him. Now, Sergio Perez was leading the race. Max Verstappen was in second. Was in third actually, because Alonso was in between. Now, ideally, you call in the leader of the race when you have your strategy, change your tires so that there will be no undercut, right? Red Bull decided that they were going to call Max Verstappen in. Everybody, I questioned it, but I didn't question it too much because I knew that he was their favorite driver. The commentators were not, they're always trying to be objective. They questioned it. And then Red Bull now said, that we did that to stop the undercut from Alonso. Alonso was 8 seconds behind. And Alonso hadn't pitted. He's still going to stop in the pit lane and he was 8 seconds. So there was no way. So at the end of the day, they did what they wanted to do. They wanted Max Verstappen in front. They found a way to undercut their own second driver and put Max Verstappen in front. At the end of the day, congratulations to Max Verstappen. Don't get me wrong. His dominance is amazing to watch. He's won 9 consecutive races. The last time I saw a driver do that was in another Red Bull car in another dominant area, and that was Sebastian Vettel. So congratulations to him. He has done that. But I can tell that Max Verstappen is their driver and Sergio Perez is their spare.
All right, congratulations, Verstappen. But it looks like a fine place for us to get our tires changed. And when we come back, we get into the gear once again. We're on to Smooth 98.1 FM, and it is the Locker Room with Tega, Onojiafe.
Your number one adult contemporary radio station.
Okay, when we come back, we'll just come back with some of the messages.
Okay.
So when we come back, you don't need to even read the headlines again. Just get to the story so that we'll take time.
Newcastle, that's where we're heading to.
No. Who was the first story? Newcastle, yeah?
Yes, Newcastle.
Yeah. Have you put your hand?
Are you?
I'm trying to wake up. Hey!
Well, honestly, when I saw the visual of who was that driver who got trapped inside fire and then they had to rescue him and I saw one visual of the track, but I don't think that was Netherlands now.
Wasn't yesterday.
Okay, that was a
Offers on hotel bookings, restaurants, car rentals, shopping, including travel insurance, premium airport lounges, and more.
Oh no.
Hey,
Yeah.
you just be in front, the rain will fall. Next thing you know, you're in the back. Just was like, I was aiming for position. How did we get here? I said, Uncle, me and you, we asking the same question. But that one was Mercedes that messed it up. Mercedes messed it up because they left both of them out for too long. So Lewis Hamilton started in 13th. He managed to move up to 9th. 4 spots. People messed him up so badly. He dropped down to 17th. Because they delayed changing his tires to intermediate on time. Then George Russell was in 3rd.
Yeah.
He dropped down to 18th.
Whoa. Where are they heading to again? They are heading to
Italy, Monza.
Italy. Yeah.
Monza this weekend. 1, 2.
But I like the way this July and August is being packed with lots of sports. This activity, plus the fact that the Premier League and other leagues, major leagues, started out this in August. So there is enough content.
Yes, I will have muscles. By the time I finish this locker room, I'll check my hand. If I have muscles.
My name is
Moscow.
Grab a cup.
Where are you?
Have muscles.
This is the smooth breakfast.
I've been doing push-up now.
They're good to go. We're back. It's still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Tega Onojiafe is still here. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Let's get in some messages.
Yeah, let's get in some messages. What she says, thank you so much for pointing out that whether she gave consent or not, that case was extremely inappropriate. I'm not sure why this is a hill the Spanish FA is choosing to die on. When they chose to die on it, when their coach was searching women's bags, looking for, I don't know what he put inside there. They died on that hill now. Didn't they drop 12 players on that? They dropped 12 players and people were hailing them because they won the World Cup. Now we've seen what an abusive system it is. This is Josh. She says, Tega, beg, let Mancini breathe. Do you know how many people have been inconsistent with their position when it comes to Saudi money? Truth of the matter is, I don't care about how many people have been inconsistent. Me, have been consistent. When I saw Salah yesterday, I was like, where's this man's wife? I know, because I need to talk to her woman to woman.
Okay.
I mean,
what were you going to tell?
Saudi Arabia brought money, woman to woman. I just be like, Auntie, you know your husband has at best 2 years on this is next. It's time for pension planning.
Okay.
You have 2 children and you live in the UK. That's not cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if you wanted to move back home, that's still not cheap. So let your husband just go to Saudi and collect our pension money.
How did it become our pension money again
it's our
now?
own now because I'm giving advice. Now, advice is the consultancy is never free.
Okay.
All right. We'll be waiting to receive your messages on
0809-444-0981.
And on that note, let's move to
still related to big spending Saudi too, but Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2. Agent of chaos Darwin is to the rescue, turns Liverpool Saviour.
Yeah. So I wanted to read the story.
Okay, Darwin Nunez first season at Liverpool saw him characterized as an agent of chaos every moment he was on the pitch. A wild card who was the ace 1 minute and a joker the next.
Yes, and so yesterday he was an ace up Liverpool's sleeve. First of all, I would say this before any argument comes in, and no argument. He was a red card. Virgil van Dijk clearly kicked Isak, and Isak was through on goal. So stopping a goal scoring chance is a red card. That was a red card every day of the week and twice on Sunday. In fact, let me tell you what was upsetting about it. I was sitting in Africa. I saw that it was a red card first time. They're now going to be looking at VAR. Why are you wasting time? Just ask me. It's a red card. For people that are questioning and saying he got the ball, no, he got the ball through the man. Because he first kicked Isak's leg, and then when Isak falls to the ground, he kicks the ball away. So there's no argument about that. That's a red card. If Liverpool has that overturned, then we should just fire Howard Webb. And that doesn't make it any easier, the fact that Liverpool should have gotten a red card earlier. When, what's his name? Trent Alexander-Arnold fouled Anthony Gordon just a few minutes after getting his first yellow. So anyhow, it would have been Liverpool were one man down. But that didn't matter because Eddie Howe has struggled to beat Jurgen Klopp, and yesterday looked like the day he was going to do it. Unfortunately, they created a lot of chances. They had goal scoring opportunities. Alisson stepped up at some point. Defense stepped up at another point, and sometimes it was the post or the bar that saved Liverpool. Then Liverpool sent on Darwin Nunez, and this is where I'm going to come from. Because when Liverpool went down one man and they wanted to bring on Gomez, an extra defender, which is what they should do after Virgil van Dijk was sent off, I was disappointed that the player that they were substituting was Luis Diaz. Because Luis Diaz knows how to run at players. He knows how to make things happen. You need that firecracker character up front when you're one man down. And I understand the need to be defensive and compact so that you don't give away much. But if you're going to be defensive and compact, pack all that midfield, but leave one firecracker upstairs. And that's what they did. They left one firecracker in Darwin Nunez. They brought him up front. And he got the 2 goals that they needed, and they got the 3 points. So in the end, Jurgen Klopp got what he came there to do, which was get 3 points. I would say this for Liverpool, they did well. For Eddie Howe and his boys, they'll just be wondering how they dropped the ball. So now they have back-to-back losses against 2 of the top teams, 2 of some of the top teams in England. Manchester City last weekend, this weekend, Liverpool. The question now begins to come: are they really ready for the Champions League? If they can drop points against these people. But for Liverpool, a huge show of character yesterday to try and defend all through and then win with a man down. So big one for them. But I often wonder, when you get a red card, I understand why you want to pack the defense, but leave the firecrackers. In my opinion, they should have taken out Gakpo, because I didn't know what I mean. Gakpo was helping defensively, but take out Gakpo. Let Luis Diaz be there
for that break run.
For that, yes, because Mo Salah will not do it. He's a Rolls Royce now. He can't be hustling. Luis Diaz will chase down every ball, and they got 2 goals.
And that takes us to Spain, where we hear Yamal shines as Barca edge 7-goal thriller at Villarreal. Barca starlet Lamine Yamal shone in a thrilling 4-3 win for the Spanish champions.
All right, so yesterday, so Barcelona have come out to show that they are not being fair. They're not the most favorable team to win the La Liga. Now, part of their biggest problem is the number of goals they concede. Again, yes, they have the players to outscore you, but some days it's going to be harder. Now, the reason why this was going to be expected was Villarreal plays open attacking football, same thing with Barcelona. So I expected them to give both each other opportunity. But if you come against a team that is a lot compact, and you give away a goal, there are no guarantees you'll score your own goal. Barcelona went ahead by 2 goals. Very early, maybe 10 minutes into the match, they'd gone ahead by 2 goals, 2 beautiful, well-worked goals. You know how Barcelona plays. And then they concede 2 goals. Too cheap. Again, well-worked goals from Villarreal. And you think that after the break, they'll be able to calm things down, put themselves together, talk to each other. No, after the break, Villarreal scores the 3rd goal. So Villarreal comes up on 2 goals down to lead by 3-2. And then Barcelona have to struggle to chip that off. And for me, that's a big issue. If you watch Real Madrid, even when they give away a goal, it's not as easy as people run into Barcelona. The station is always working for its money. He doesn't have a free weekend. As much as Barcelona dominate possession, we shouldn't be seeing their goalkeeper. But they will dominate possession and their goalkeeper will still make at least 3 saves a match. it's questionable.
Mm.
So it's something that they need to look at. But yeah, good one for them. On the other side of the divide, Real Madrid is struggling now because we're hearing that Vinicius Junior, who picked up an injury, may be out for a couple weeks.
Mm. But that also looks well. And let's see what this manager's worry is. Arteta tells Arsenal to be more ruthless after Fulham flop.
All right. So on this note, please, I need people to help me. What because again, I watch Arsenal and I know where their deficiencies are. But Ateta watches Arsenal and he sees something completely different. You guys should tell me, do you understand why Mikel Arteta is tweaking his format, please? With the players that he's deciding to put. Because again, I still think that Kai Havertz has something on Mikel Arteta. Because Kai Havertz doesn't fit. But Mikel Arteta is forcing it. You must fit by force. We die here today. So, if you understand why Arteta is tweaking these tactics, please send me your messages too.
On to 0809-444-0981. But that's also, you have messages.
We have messages. We're going to read through them. But the biggest issue for Arsenal that I saw, Arsenal will always give away goals. They will always give away goals. They've had defensive problems since 1960s. Okay. I think the biggest problem with Arsenal was that they tweaked too much. And so when he makes those changes, when he starts those lineups, and they will create chances, but they will not always be able to deliver. They played brilliantly. Don't get me wrong, on Saturday. Yes, they conceded an early goal, but they bounced back, even took the lead, looked like they were going to extend that lead, and then they conceded another cheap one from a corner. But Mikel Arteta is telling his team to be ruthless, and I agree. With all the chances they created, they should have had 4-5 goals, easy. And they didn't have that. But he needs to also be stable. And so don't tell your team to be ruthless if you are not stable. And then you do that. Some people said he should have started Gabriel Jesus. I don't think you should rush a player from injury. Let him come in from the bench. But I do think in the first half, after the first half when there were struggles, I don't think the person that they should have taken off was Leandro Trossard.
We have to pick up pace a bit now and touch on this one from Napoli, seeing off Sassuolo, Juve survive penalty.
All right, so huge one for Victor Osimhen again. If you thought he was a one-season wonder, that didn't happen. He came back yesterday, scored a penalty for Napoli, and they won their game by 2-0. Juventus, on the other hand, had a goal cancelled, dominated possession, they tried as much as possible, created chances, they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Fortunately, Vlahovic, their saviour, stepped up again and got them an equalizer. So if you're Max Allegri, you look at the team, that the football is flowing, but just the results are not yet coming. So that's not anything to worry about. On that note, let's take all your messages. Let's start with
Newcastle, who murdered them. Up Liverpool. That's it.
America Nemo says,
regarding Arsenal, as much as I want to survive Kai Adverse support, can Arsenal look for his receipt and go to Chelsea and ask for a refund, even if na half we go manage?
If they refund only 30 million,
Chukudi runs up with this one. I don't blame Mancini for denying, so that all these world people like Tega will also start telling him something he doesn't want to hear.
No, I will never tell you. I always tell you to go for the money.
Chiwobi Victor comes up from Alaba International. Good morning, and says, congrats to Liverpool for getting the maximum point against Newcastle United. I never saw that coming after the red card to Van Dijk. For Barcelona, I don't see them finishing in the top 3 this season if they fail to get quality strikers.
I can guarantee you they'll finish in top 3.
Tayo, Arteta asking Gunners to be ruthless, but Havertz is laughing at the back saying, they play, just they play Arteta. I am glad.
He says, I'm glad it's not going to take over 200 days this season for us to discover Arsenal. And let's take this message from Kende. He says some say Arteta is tweaking now because it's the start of the season, and this is the time to do so, and not the middle. Make sense. I don't know how to make sense of what Arteta is doing. Mohammed says, I will say it again, to cancel this woke culture. I'm not reading that message, but he says, as for Liverpool, they are back as the giants of England football. 2 wins with 10 men. They are not playing. That's
Mayowa.
Mayowa says, Arteta is only too Okay, I don't know what you're.
Two king because he's trying to be unpredictable.
Yeah, but we don't know. Okay, tweaking. But your autocorrect made it two king because he's trying to be unpredictable, and it's annoying at the moment. But when everything comes together, Arsenal fans will be all right. And on that note, want to say thank you for sending in your messages to WhatsApp. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. When we come back on Wednesday again, hopefully there'll be more stories and more banter. On that note, Thomas.
Thank you so much, Tega. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning.